Hey guys, hope you're doing very well. I just want to quickly say I'm so sorry for the absence. I mean, I have been absent here and there for the past 6-7 months now because I was going through some things. I'm going to do a video on that eventually. It's just one of those hard topics to talk about. But yeah, I have got my arm tattooed again and I was stupid and I thought, you know what, I can totally film the next day after getting my arm blasted. I don't know why I thought I could do that, so I haven't been able to film because my arm was just and like I got pretty bad tattoo flu after. If you don't know what tattoo flu is, it's where you basically feel like crap and you get like these flu type symptoms, but it's not because you're ill, it's like self-inflicted, it's just your body running down and feeling sorry for itself. So yeah, I really just screwed myself over there, to be honest, so I just want to say sorry to you guys for the lack of content, but I'm here, I'm back. Yeah, November, Christmas decorations, I don't give a crap, honestly. Like, I don't care. I literally don't care. I like Christmas. I mean, I love Halloween, but Christmas is just so festive and cozy is my #1 vibe, honestly. Let's do a tiny little backstory for someone that might not be familiar with this situation. It is scabby and dry and I was gonna wait until it was healed, but I was like, oh god, that's another like 2-3 weeks, and I just want to kind of talk about it. I'm literally the most excited about this tattoo in process, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just like, I just want to talk about it and like hopefully you guys will listen. So yeah, so for those that don't know or for those that need a recap, I had a black and grey horror sleeve in realism on this arm. I'll flag up some photos. Most of the photos that I have of it are of it when it was fresh, so it looks a bit strange and stuff, but whatever. And I liked it. It wasn't like horrific, it wasn't terrible, but I just wanted something darker. Like, it was very, very light. It was more grey than black and grey. Like, there wasn't much black in it. It was more like washed out grey. Summer last year, I kind of decided that I want to do something about it, either darken it up or get something over it, like a cover up. And then I come across this style called blast over, and you basically just go over a old tattoo, and sometimes the old tattoo pokes through in places and sometimes it doesn't. It just, you know, it depends and stuff. But there's a difference between a cover up and a blast over. A cover up is where you want to hide the old tattoo completely. You don't want it poking through. Sometimes it does happen because like the old tattoo is badly done and it's too scarred or whatever, but the aim with a cover up is to get rid of the old tattoo completely. With a blast over, you don't particularly care if you see the old tattoo in places, like you're not fussed about it, you kind of just want something cool over the top and whatever, you're not fussy. And I am that person that really isn't fussy, so a blast over really fit for me. And it takes off the stress and the pressure of the tattoo artist, especially if it's a hard cover up. So that was like summer last year when I was like, okay, I really want to like maybe change this a little bit, but I wasn't in a rush or anything like that. And then I got my hand tattooed at the at the Manchester Tattoo Convention. I think that was March time, by a tattoo artist called Sophie Brown, who is hella talented and awesome. And then the contrast between my hand tattoo and my old sleeve wasn't good. This is like so dark and saturated, and then my arm was just like light and grey and it just didn't look right at all. And that really made me want to step up and get a blast over in a very bold style. So in a video I mentioned if any of you guys knew of any tattoo artist that was in the London area that does blast overs or just like heavy black work stuff, floral, all that jazz, and a few of you mentioned Heidi Fury, who works at Femme Fatale, and I like followed her on Instagram and I was obsessed and I loved her work and I was like, oh my god, she's just like amazing. So I booked in to get tattooed by her. So I had the first session in August, and I think it was the 14th of August actually, and we did all the outline. I made a video on that, so if you want to catch up on that and hear more in detail of the experience, I'll leave a link down below for you guys so you can watch that. It's probably best if you watch that first before this one, unless you like to watch stuff in in canonical order. Oh my god, I hope you know what I mean, but backwards, whatever, like Star Wars, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so that was all done. It took about 2-3 weeks to fully heal. That was really, really painful. I think I was being tattooed for 5 hours, 6 hours. I ended up nearly passing out. That was fun. I think I just did too much. I pushed myself, to be honest with you. Anyway, so on to my last session, which was actually a week today. I'm filming this on Monday the... phone, what are you doing, mate? Monday the 18th, I had my appointment on Monday the 11th of November, so I've had it for a week today, kind of, sort of. It is in the dry, itchy, scabby phase. It's disgusting, like the scabs are so big because it is like solid black work in places, like all in my inner arm. Do you see how black that is? It's crazy, but obviously with solid black comes solid black scabs. It's nasty. I'm like flaking everywhere I go. I'm creating gothic snow. Wherever I go, I'm flaking on everything. Like, there's black everywhere, and it's just like, I mean, there could be worse things that are happening right now, but you know, it's a bit gross just flaking everywhere, and it's not attractive. So should I do a long story of this version? Do we like long videos, or should I just do like a recap? I don't know, because my other one was really in detail. Let's do like a medium version of this. So yeah, my appointment was on Monday the 11th. Wow, I'm really rambling. And as usual, I got to London. The train is like 40 minutes long, and I went straight to McDonald's to have like the biggest McDonald's I could possibly shove in my mouth at that time in the morning. I'm normally not a morning eater, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't normally do breakfast unless I'm on holiday. There's like all you can eat buffet, and there's loads of croissants and stuff, because oh my god, croissants. But yeah, I had like a large meal, ate it all, was really full, didn't want to move after. I then, instead of getting a tube to the station, I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna get an Uber, and you know, it just cuts down time and stuff, and I was running a little bit late, and I hate being late to tattoo appointments. I don't think I've ever been late to a tattoo appointment, because I'm so anal about it. Other things in life, don't give a shit about. Tattoo appointments, I want to be there on time. So I got an Uber instead of just doing the whole tube situation, and I got there on time. I think I was like 5 minutes early, and I signed one of those like consent forms. I filled out like my date of birth, my name, where I live, email address, mobile number, all that fun stuff. Done the ticky thing to say, hey, yes, I've eaten, and no, I haven't been drinking alcohol, and all that fun stuff. So I signed that up, and as always, I love the studio. I said this in the last video, but femme fatale, or femme fatale, whatever way you want to say it. I'm probably saying it wrong both ways, to be honest. Such a cool studio, looks really modern but artsy at the same time. Love it, had the best time, and there was 3 dogs there this time, and you guys know me, I love dogs. So like the whole time I was there, I was just like obsessed. I was just watching the dogs, honestly, and it actually made me feel so much better just watching these dogs. Like, it was a good distraction for me, because dogs literally boost my like serotonin levels so high. I'm just like on cloud 9. It's fantastic. So there was 3 cute little babies just like playing around and stuff. Yeah, so when I got there, me and Heidi kind of discussed like how my like outline healed from the last session, and we took a look, and I was just like, there was only one spot that had some ink come out of it, to be honest. I just showed her that, and she was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And then she's like, okay, I think we're gonna do some blacking out today, so we can kind of see how the flowers are looking, and you know, just to make a good start on that. And I was just like, okay, yeah, that's fine, that's like totally cool with me, knowing full well that for me, colouring / shading is like not that painful for me. Like, I could sit through it for hours and hours and hours. Outline though is absolute sweet fresh hell for me. So I was really glad that she said that. And then we kind of discussed what to do with it when it comes to my hand tattoo, like how we're going to work my hand tattoo into the sleeve. And I said, is it possible to have like a little gap between the black, like that? And she's like, yeah, I think that will work out. And then we discussed what we were going to do with my wrist, and she did this like scallop thing, which is so pretty. I like the way that that is done, to be honest with you. Instead of like a harsh black line, it's like a scallop, and it's quite feminine, and it's not so harsh, because you know, with black work it's very, very harsh. So that was all cool. So like, we collaborated, and I pretty much just said, you know, do what you like. And then she said, should we do some stuff up around your hand? So she did like some black up here, and then there's some black in this little corner there. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it much at all, but she's done some black up on my hand there. So it all kind of blends in very nicely. It doesn't look like this hand tattoo is separate from this, I would say, even though Heidi's flowers are a tad bit different in style to Sophie's. It looks like it works together, if that makes sense. So I really love that. She really took in consideration to my like existing tattoos, which is really nice of her. So yeah, she did a lot of black work, and again, it really didn't bother me that much. Like, I could sit through that for hours and hours and hours. It was nothing. Well, of course it hurt, but it wasn't like majorly bad compared to outline. or line work, whatever you want to call it. So what she did was up to about here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this very well, but she did up to here. Most of this, she did some bits in here. She did bits in my elbow, which I've discussed this before, but elbows just freak me out. I don't enjoy it. Like, that is probably the least enjoyment I've ever had being tattooed. It's not the most painful. It actually doesn't hurt. It's the feeling for me that just, even like talking about it makes my stomach just, I don't like it. It's that like grindy feeling. And because my elbows are super pointy, I don't know if you're going to be able to see how pointy my elbows are. I can't see my like screen thing because I'm long-sighted. Far-sighted, close-sighted, I don't know. I can't see far away basically, so I don't really know what I'm showing you. So yeah, I could wear glasses, but they glare with the lights and stuff. Anyway, I've got a very pointy elbow, so when she's getting right in there, it's so horrible. I hate it. I just don't like bones. Like, bone stuff is like one of my like things that make me like queasy. You know how people like don't like blood or guts or whatever? I don't really care about that kind of stuff, but like broken bones and just bone grinding is not fun for me. So when she was getting in there, I was just like, oh god, oh god, oh god. Luckily, like, elbow is quite a small area, so it was kind of over and done with quickly-ish. And there's some more stuff to do in my elbow, to be honest with you, because there's like a flower here that goes onto my elbow, so she'll be in there again the next session. Loving that. So I think she was blacking out for 3 hours. I want to say around about like 2-3 hours she was blacking out, and we had, how many breaks in total? I think we had 2 breaks. Yeah, we had 1 break, and then I ate some chocolate and stuff. I had like 2 bottles of Lucozade with me because I was like, I am not going to nearly pass out again. Absolutely not. So I freaking was downing Lucozade like it was, I don't know, can't think of anything. But yeah, I was drinking a lot of Lucozade, and then I had chocolate with me. I also had crisps with me for like that salt intake, because when I mentioned in my previous video about my blast over sleeve, a lot of you guys said that like that almost passing out feeling is to do with like low blood pressure, and salt actually helps that. So I had salt and vinegar crisps. I don't know if the fact that they were salt and vinegar would have helped even more, I don't know, but I like salt and vinegar crisps, so I was like, I'll have those. So I think they helped. I didn't actually pass out this time, or nearly pass out this time, which was good, and we kind of took our time with it, and we had a few more breaks. Actually no, we had about the same amount of breaks as the previous time, but we didn't do as much, I don't think. Like, I was there for the same amount of time, but I think we kind of had longer breaks and stuff. And yeah, anyway, there was a moment here and there where I felt a little bit shaky, but I didn't have that whole like tight chest feeling and then like tunnel vision, which was good. Anyway, moving forward, yes, we did a lot of blacking out for about 2-3-ish hours, could be more than 3 hours, and with a few breaks in between. And then she moved on to this flower. Now, with everything being so scabby and gross, and there's also, oh, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but she wrapped my arm in Sanoderm. No, Dermalize, every time. She wrapped my arm in Dermalize. I took it off in the bath and stuff and what have you. I'll talk about that in a minute. But some of it is still kind of stuck to my arm. So with Dermalize, it's got this stickiness to it. And unfortunately, I couldn't get all of it off this time. The previous time I managed to get all of it off. This time, because my arm was a lot more saturated, it hurt too much. So I've still got bits here and there of like Dermalize that's like stuck to my arm. And because my arm is like flaky and stuff now, I don't want to like start picking at it, because then I'm going to be picking at the ink underneath it, and then it's all going to come off. So I've got patches here and there of like sticky Dermalize, and I can't bring myself to like pick it off and then, you know, risk taking some ink with it. I'd rather just have a weird sticky arm, to be honest with you. Well, it's not sticky anymore, it's just dry at the minute. But yeah, so there's blobs here and there where I have like sticky Dermalize, and then there's obviously black is stuck to it, so you can't really see the flower that well, unfortunately, because of the situation. But yeah, she did one of the big flowers. She did like line work, and then that made me realise just how painful line work is for me, because she'd been doing like colouring, shading, whatever you want to call it, for, you know, 3 hours, which wasn't that bad. And then she started doing the line work, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so bad. Like, it was so painful. I hate it so much. And then she did dot work, which, I don't know, if you guys have had dot work, to me it's so relaxing. I'm just like, ah, yeah. And then she'd do a line, I'll be like, oh my god, it's so painful. And then she'd do dot work, and I'm like, ah. So it was a good contrast, to be honest. But yeah, unfortunately I'm not really going to be able to show you. Oh god, my lights drown out my tattoos so bad. Can I show you up close now? Oh, it's just so gross. I haven't put any hustle butter on it today, just because I was going to do this video. And when you slather your whole arm in hustle butter, it gets everywhere. Like, it gets stuck to everything, and I have to like walk around with my arm like this, otherwise it gets stuck to my t-shirt, or stuck to my bed, or stuck to a coat, or whatever. So I have to make sure I have like a solid like 2 hours free of where I can just hold my arm out with the hustle butter on. So I need to do that after this filming session. But I'll go up close to you guys. If you're eating or whatever, probably best that you don't look at this. I'm sure most of you guys have seen a healing tattoo, but just because this is like solid black work, it just looks even worse. And I guess if you guys are, you know, looking to get solid black work, or just black work tattoos in general, or a blackout sleeve or a plastover, I guess this is a good thing to show you so you know what to expect. Because I know sometimes when you get like a tattoo, or if you're new to getting tattooed and you see your tattoo looking like how this is, it can be quite scary. I remember my first tattoo and it scabbed up pretty badly, and I was just like, oh my god, it's gonna fall off, or my wrist is gonna fall off, or whatever. But it's perfectly normal, perfectly fine. Anyway, let's see. So hopefully you can see what is kind of going on. But what I meant by the sticky dermalize is this bit here. Do you see there's just like blackness there? That's not meant to be there. That's all like dermalized. It's all like tacky and stuff, unfortunately. But yeah, you can kind of see what's going on now a little bit. It's still a bit confusing up top because we didn't really do much up top really. Most of the inner arm was done, which was good. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. But yeah, it's proper flaky. And then if you guys can see what's going on with my hand and stuff now that we're a bit closer. But yeah, I'll do a video at some point when it's healed. You can't really see how awesome it looks when it looks like a lizard, so there's that. Once she'd done the flower and stuff, she was kind of like, okay, we should just stop here, to be honest. I think it was around about 5 o'clock anyway, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I didn't want to overdo myself and then nearly like pass out again. So I was like, you know what, actually, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And then she kind of like cleaned me up, and then she put this foamy stuff on that you see on like Instagram, you know those like Instagram tattoo reveal videos where there's like loads of foam on like a tattoo, and then the artist just wipes it away slowly. She did that. Well, she actually just rubbed in the foam. She didn't do no reveal or anything like that. Like, she rubbed in the foam, and it was like this antibacterial stuff. Was it called Bactine? I don't remember what it was called, to be honest with you. I don't know why the word Bactine is in my hand. In my hand? No, it's not. It's in my head. Yeah, she did that, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. Like, this isn't a bad antibacterial stuff, because if you use antibacterial stuff for your tattoos, which I hope so, you know that it stings like a bitch. And I was like, this doesn't sting. This actually feels so nice. And then all of a sudden, bam, it started stinging. It felt like wet fire. I was like, oh my god, my arm is on fire. I was like, oh, this hurts so much. And then luckily it kind of calmed down after a while. But I was like, I said to Heidi, oh my god, this doesn't hurt. Like, normally, you know, antibacterial stuff hurts. And she's like, yeah, a lot of people have said though that it stings. And I was just like, oh, no, I'm fine. And then she walked off. I think she went into like some other room or whatever, and then it started stinging. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, here it goes, ow, ow. And I was just sitting there. I think I was like drinking and eating, and I was just like, oh, you know when you're like in so much pain but you're trying to keep face, and she's like, yeah, I'm fine. It was like that moment. And then yeah, once she'd done all that and gave it a clean and stuff, we did the photos and some videos and stuff like that. And then she put on the dermalize again. Like last time, she did it in little sections, because you just cannot put like a whole, like, you can't wrap dermalize on you like cling film or whatever, like you've got to do it in little sections. For those that don't know what Dermalize is, I always mention it and stuff. Dermalize is a brand of like Second Skin, and a Second Skin thing is a mixture of like, it's like a mixture of cling film and a plaster. Like it sticks to your arm or your body or wherever you put it, and you can leave it on for a while, and it just helps protect the tattoo, and it makes healing so much easier because you don't have to babysit the tattoo because it's protected under this like cling film plaster thing. I've used Dermalize and Sanaderm. They're two of the like main brands when it comes to stuff like this. I love it. I use it as much as I most possibly can. I didn't use it for like hand tattoos. It's flexible, but it's not completely flexible, unfortunately. But it's good for like arms and legs and backs and stuff like that. A lot of people always ask about pricing, which is cool with me. I honestly don't mind talking about pricing. To me personally, like if it helps people, it helps people. But Heidi's day charge or day session charge is £500. I have a deposit with her still. I haven't taken it back type thing, so I paid the full £500, and then I just keep carrying on my deposit each session, and then like once we're done with the sleeve, I'll use that £100 or whatever to take off from the full price. So I'll pay like the £400, but I just pay 500, which to me is a very fair price for her talent. And then yeah, I got an Uber home. Well, I got an Uber to the train station, and then I come home. Actually no, I went to Marks and Spencer's and I got myself a sandwich because I really fancied a sandwich. Then I come home, and then the next, I think it was like 3-4 days afterwards, I felt like actual crap. Like I just felt really run down, really tired, really achy, just lethargic, and I just didn't want to do anything. And I just, I don't know, and my arm hurt so bad, like, because it's like such a big coverage that she was doing, because she was blacking out all of this and stuff. It's just so much coverage, so my arm just, I just wanted to cut it off at points. I'm not gonna lie to you, I just wanted to cut it off. And yeah, I left the Dermalize on for 4 days. 4 days, yeah. I took it off on the Friday, and what Heidi told me to do last time was to soak my arm in a bath, like a hot bath, and it moves the adhesive, makes it easier to peel off, and it does, which is fantastic. So I ran myself a bath, which was lovely. I don't really have that many baths, to be honest. I think my last one was when I took off the previous Dermalize from my last session. I shower. Let me clarify, I'm a shower person. But yeah, so I had a nice hot bath, and I soaked my arm in there for about 20 minutes to really, you know, get it wet and soaked and hot, so that way the stickiness kind of breaks up. And then I just started peeling off, and it was a bit more painful than last time. Last time that I took off the Dermalize from the whole of my arm, it wasn't that bad. Like there was moments where it hurt, but it wasn't horrific. It was quite a relieving feeling, to be honest with you. This time though, I think it was just because I had so much more saturation in places. It just hurt a bit more to take off, so I've really had to take my time with it. And then once I'd like washed my arm and stuff and made sure it was like clean, I then put some hustle butter on it, and I hustle butter it twice a day now. I don't want to do too much because hustle butter really does like sit on the skin and saturates the skin, so you don't want to do too much of it, but because it's so dry it's nice to put it on like twice a day or whatever. Oh, I had a little bit of a reaction to the Dermalize, unfortunately, this time, which isn't really an issue for me. Because I use it so much, I know that I'm not completely allergic to it. I think it's just where I get very hot, and then like the adhesive kind of just like melts to my skin. I know that sounds really gross, but yeah, I had like a little blister come up on the top of my arm. It's actually healing now, which is fine. And then I've got this at the back. Oh god, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to show you, but I don't know if you guys might have seen it, but like there's this red here, and I can feel it. It's like scarred or something, and at first I thought it might have been nail polish because I painted my nails a few days ago red. I mean, they've chipped off already, but I thought it might have been nail polish, but it's like not coming off at all. So I think that's another part that like got a little bit damaged with the Sanaderm. I don't actually know. I'm hoping that will just fade away eventually. But yeah, like there's like dry skin over it and stuff, so I don't know. It is kind of normal. Well, I don't know. What does normal mean? But it is kind of normal to have a kind of reaction to it because it is such a harsh plaster. The last time I had a reaction to it was when I got my Danny Cuepo pizza pin-up tattoo. I had blisters all well, not all, but I had a line of blisters on my elbow just where it was really hot and like it melted onto my skin or something, I don't know. So I think that's what's happened. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully that doesn't damage the tattoo in any way. It might take a few weeks to heal, I don't know. But yeah, that's that. I think that's everything. If I've missed something out, I don't know, just ask me questions down below. I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And I think once I finish this blast over, I'm going to do a Q&A, but that won't be for a little while. My next session is end of February. Heidi books out pretty quickly, which is understandable, but yeah, that's my next session, unless she gets a cancellation. I told her, like, if you get a cancellation, just holler at me and I should be able to, you know, go and stuff. So so yeah, the next session I think we'll continue probably to do the blacking out, like up on the upper arm here, and then some of the flowers, well, most of the flowers need doing, only one was done in the last session. So I've got one here, one up there, 3, 4, and then I've got another one up here, 5. So there's 5 more flowers to fill out as well. So it'll probably be that next session. So that's going to be fun for me. Oh, it's going to be painful, but that's just what we do, isn't it? And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. And until my next video, bye.